Continuing tonight's Education Watch 10, if your child is enrolled in Indiana schools, this is a story you won't want to miss. News 10's Kate Green takes a closer look into the brewing battle of Indiana's education reform. That's all in tonight's Education Watch 10 special report, Reading, Writing, Reform.
Mark Patrice, you've seen these stories almost in every newscast. Watching educators and legislators battle it out over education reform. But trying to understand this reform, well, that's a story in itself. Tonight, we tell you exactly what could change in your child's education.
The last couple of speakers started to get this roof raised. Well, by the time I get done, I want the thing off.
Thousands of educators speaking out on current legislation.
We are in a war.
Posters spell out proposals for education reform. But what is it they're fighting for? What is it the state wants to change? Indiana's education reform breaks down into about 6 separate bills. The first and one of the most scrutinized is teacher evaluation. The state wants teacher pay and job security to center on teacher effectiveness. Bottom line, tenures are thrown out the window. Instead, student testing and growth would play a bigger role in how a teacher is evaluated. In order to make that happen, the second bill would have to pass.
It cannot happen unless we let it happen.
Reworking collective bargaining laws means current contracts with teacher unions would be broken.
Listen to people who say they stand for quality.
The third calls for more accountability in classroom funding. Currently, schools spend 58 cents of every dollar on classroom instruction. This bill would increase it to 65 cents. To see that change, schools may have to cut back on other areas.
Do not allow them to take our voices away.
The fourth has funds following the student. If a student attends a school deemed failing, students would be able to use state-funded grants towards the school of their choice, whether it's public or private, meaning private vouchers provided by you, the taxpayer.
Do we want to give public money to private schools?
The fifth bill looks at expanding charter schools. The state wants to provide more funding, give more flexibility on who can sponsor a charter school, and allow charters to lease empty public school buildings for just $1.
We must speak out. We must stand up.
The sixth bill aims at getting students to graduate earlier. Students who finish high school in 3 years could take state funds that would be given to their school district and apply it to college costs. To simplify, that's $3,500 per student, which means $3,500 less each year to school districts. Big changes, big costs, and 6 controversial issues dividing educators and legislators. A fight at the State House that will ultimately end in your child's classroom. A few bills have passed the House, including the charter school bill. But keep in mind, nothing has become law yet. So what do you think of these proposals? We want to hear from you online. Just go to WTHI-TV.com and take our online polls. Back to you.
Thank you, Kate. Tomorrow, Kate goes more in depth on one of these bills.
Join us for an inside look into the charter school movement, the controversy that now surrounds it, and why more of your money will help fund it. That's all tomorrow at 6, 5 Central.